Okay, it's 8 p.m. European time, 7 p.m. Gambian time. Good evening and welcome to another scintillating edition of the Fan Zone. I'm your host, B.S. Kamara, host, and then we have Mr. Alpha Jallo from the TMT Football Club. Waaye balaa ñoo dugg si conversation bi dañ bëgg a because dañ am dëj tey one of us moo gaañu tey si sport industry bi so ñu ngi ko bëgg a sigil you can say one or two things regarding to dëj buñ am tey Gambia in terms of this sport. I know even though mun naa amuloo ko personal level waaye perhaps am ngeen some relation in terms of sport ak yooyu Alpha,
are you talking to me, base?
Okay, okay. Yeah, thank you very much, guys. First of all, Malena Nubu Bahaba, Kontana Torop, I'm very proud and elated to be part of this platform. Bohame Yaganenko by Hell, and then some of the excerpts and interviews interesting you have Momgen But before my gonna elaborate more, then you wa inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi rajiun. Sikena ko hamentene sunyun la bokon. Muy Pabaro. Man personally, I have personal relationship with him. Just last week, rekla joge wahamum Polko with regards to KM third division qualifiers. Ñu waxtaan si at length, and then there are series of events yoo xamante ne ni am nañ ko yoo xamante ne ni we spoke about it at length, and then fuñ gis rek respect ak love moo fa dee daw because man yoo excellent rek laa ko dee ooyee ñu toog waxtaan lu bari. Just last month tamit I was at his workplace doon am process yi ma doon def ñu waxtaan at length moom ak Del. So it's very sad seeing just yesterday rek mu ngi toogoon ci campé bi fële na le, and then suddenly over the night dañ war a wake up with this sad news. So obviously it's another big blow to the journalist fraternity as a whole. Lu ñoo mën a def rek mooy ñu ñaanal ko yàlla yërëm ko te xaare ko aljana. Liñ ko mën a seel rek xam na ne julit la woon, bu baax la woon. He was very dedicated in his work as well. That's why he holds so many portfolios yoo xamante ne ni it's really passion driven. See program yim they all the time at radio, but at the same time content yoo xamante ne tam mu ko doon am si region boo xam ne man moom laa bokk muy KM. We have seen the tremendous work as a PR and as a media officer. Lim fa doon def previously tamit with Hawks. So his entire life daf ko dedicate ci li nga xamante ne mooy sports, most especially with football. People don't know that, but sometimes tamit suñ amoon yeneen event yi mel ni wrestling ak yooyu dañ ko si daan mën a invite wala moom daf ñu daan mën a invite dañ ci daan ñëw ñu waxtaan si at length. So which means ne dañ koo jaalee sporting fraternity bi yëpp di wax ne rek loolu lañ mën a am si moom gën koo ñaanal yàlla yërëm ko te xaare ko aljana.
Amin waay amin Alassane.
Yeah, it's dafa daw yaram torop because ñun yëpp I don't really know him on a personal level because man time ma doon génn Gambia I don't think mit naa ko or xamoon naa ko daal. So why it doesn't really matter because this loss is everyone's loss. This loss is like the Gambia's loss. But when you think about the circumstances, I saw the video that Oscar put on Facebook yesterday that they were, sitting together and having fun, just last night. The difference is we we went to bed together, but the difference is we woke up, but he never did. So it's not because that's the reason why we woke up and he didn't. No, it's just come time on mojot, like, and it's very sad. We as human beings, we sit and we think that we have so much of time. Okay, maybe that job I'm gonna apply tomorrow. This, thing I have to do today, I will have to do it tomorrow. But at the end of the day, we are not guaranteed, tomorrow. The lead of gonna firnde, lead of gonna wane, whatever you have to do, please do it today. You don't have to wait for tomorrow because it's not a guarantee. I have seen and I have heard, a lot of types of, deaths that have absolutely scared me. But at the end of the day, you just ñaanal ko, yàlla xaare ko àjjana, and then, the family must be going through a lot. Those are the kind of people that we have to think about the most, in this situation. This guy is a very young guy. I don't really know how old he was, but he's a very, very, very young guy, probably a breadwinner for the family, so manko naharlu ba pare manko jale tamit, wajurami ak kepa ko xamne sport journalist nga in Gambia and even Gambia as a whole, because when a young man dies, it's the country that definitely loses. So yeah, I have seen a lot of, downpour on Facebook, and it shows the kind of a man that he was, because we know, when a good person passes away, we get into Facebook, all we see and all we hear is just, the love, shared by the people. So this one also is no different. He will be missed, of course, and we just hope and pray that the family would be able to bear this loss, because it's just a devastation that no parent, have to go through. So yeah, ñu jaale rek ñu ñaan yàlla xare ko àjjana daal.
Wow, Alassane, thank you very much. The committee. How many Alpha? We lost Alpha.
Is Alpha gone or he's coming back?
Perhaps he's receiving calls. Yeah, Lola, man Papa, I don't know at any personal level why. It's sad.
Yeah,
guys.
No, it's very sad. It's very sad. It's really very sad for everybody that knows him, for everybody that is connected to him. So we just hope that all the friends and the family will bear the loss in a good way.
Okay, Alpha.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so let's start the program. Can you please introduce yourself to on Facebook, YouTube, and our listeners Vibes FM 106.1?
Okay, my name is Momodu Alpha Jallo. I am specialized in sports journalism. Yes, Nekana since around 2010, 11, 12 upwards. I'm proud enough to say, yes, my Alassane second win come like paradise, because I was one of the people that substituted him. He was so good that to the extent, they needed two people to substitute him alone. So man ak Babakar Nani sila won. And then yes, I strive to a lot of radio stations at media houses. Then Paradise Mom Abna Falu Tolusi 8 years. I ventured into sport administration because I'm a committee member at Serekunda West. Also, somehow I was a wrestling administrator as well when it comes to the KM region, and then EU supported project Mohammed and Amonafi. I was the admin secretary. Now, officially, I'm the assistant secretary general of TMT football club. So, in brief, Kokomoy Alpha.
Okay, thank you very much. for the context of today's program, dañoo focus on TMT. So, can you take us through TMT? Who is behind TMT? Success stories.
Yeah, I'm not solo Bahaba. I think it's a very interesting question. I think TMT just started 5 years ago, around 2020. Omar H. Osedikan, he's the CEO at the same time the president of the club. He has this vision of helping out Gambian footballers in general. But before TMT said register Bopam third division through Banjul, I will come through that. Dafa amon TMT, it was like an academy. Bo xamantene ni Omar H. Osedikan as the president and CEO, amon ay players am teamam. He was paying them monthly. And time boobu liñ daan gën a def mooy play ay test matches ba pare some of his players mu leen joxoon si divisional team bi. I can name one mooy Yaya Ndong bi nga xamante ne bi doon play even Elite United. He was a player of TMT. The time TMT was not even in third division. So that's how it started. So test games in Dan them play, we saw a lot of young and talented players. And then he has the passion of then make sure that you strive for Moneka a permanent team. Just with the award ceremony that we had before, they got a first-hand testimony from the players themselves. ñu mel ni ñoom Moussa Camara ak ñoom Yaya Ndong ak Omar Hit aussi dekante boppam di joxe testament ne ñoom they are the ones that convince him to make sure ne bro lii nañ ko push because yes this is a very strong team and at least financially you can help the team at yooyu noonu then the journey began gars demee through qualify around third division in Banjul team bi mujjee qualify to the third division just that year mu move to the second division bim fa nekkee tamit it was a straight qualification to the first division but then in the second division buñ fàtte ne foofu la TMT dema woon final ñoom ak Medina their first FF Cup final boo xamante ne am nañ ko eventually they lost on penalty shootout ñu egg nag si li nga xamante ne moom mooy first division bi and then in terms of the table we were mid-table at least 3 or 4 games before league bi di jeex the team was safe but then they went for another back-to-back finals as well when it comes to the FF Cup. So in short, TMT noonu la soso noonu la ñëwee so many people yoo xamante ne they are outside if you tell them that okay this team it was just established barely 5 years ago and with some of the achievements that we have already done then duñ dee mën a understand exactly naka la fa demee so but we just explain to them the president is very 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 passionate about football he's very dedicated and then dafa nekk nit koo xamante ne he's ready to invest his aim and objective is just to rewrite again Gambian football te xam naa ne suñ demee ba si biir waxtaan bi you will understand the meaning of when I say he just want to rewrite Gambian football again.
Okay, Alpha.
Yeah, not to forget, please. In as much as we are talking about the male side, also, Buñ Fatene TMT also has a female team as well. So, female team Bitamit, as we know, just last year they did a tremendous strides. They went up to the last game of the GFF Women's Division League. Eventually, Nyaka against Berewuleng. Then known la Berewuleng neke the champions of the GFF League. But yes, team Bobo Nono, of course, then Kojenda from Abuko United because remember, team Bitamit. Foofu la day training at the end of the day. So through waxtaan tamit we will surely touch on the female team. But TMT is a male and a female division, our first division teams.
Yeah, I want us to talk on the female team briefly because I think last year or year before, shortly in the team B, Cho Dafa Jogon. One of the founding fathers of Abuko female United football team. Dafa ne the good Cho bi jega na ñi ne wa jaay na Cho ñene ñi ngi wona ñu dem court te ko su lan mo xew ak fo be fo len mujjé legi ba fa nga explain ñu tamit lan legi stani team bi are you guys still going through legal battles everything is now settled.
Okay, very interesting question. I think is very good. Ñu delu wat rek waxtana ci tuti. What happened is that Omar H. Osedikan as the president, he is very wary of when it comes to these legal issues because apart from football we all know that philanthropist la businessman la ak yeneen so he's very conscious about all these legal things dëgg la nag du ñàkk sale su amee du ñàkk 1 or 2 people they will feel that suma ebo sama ne grievance or so ne okay team bi warta dem or nim demee or nangam loolu du mun a ñàkk and I think story bi yëpp ak nu mu doon buggee be it online ak wherever story bi yëpp loolu la woon maybe 1 or 2 people yoo xamante ne maybe they were not satisfied with ni mu fa demee and that was the reason why but to be honest amuñ benn legal battle boo xamante ne right now ñu ngi koo dem xëccoo wu ñoo kenn and if it on that form when it comes to sale bi si boppam dañ ko jaarale through the right channels when it comes to the Gambia legal system mooy through AG chambers we made sure ne biñ jëndee team bi we went through there bépp legal document boo xamante ne Abu Koy United amoon na ko legally make sure ne def nañ the transfer of name ñu xam ne léegi team bi mu ngi transfer from kii to kale and then we went to football house laajte nañ procedure xam nañ naka la we went through all the legal procedure boo xamante ne moom la war a jaar dëgg la nag du ñàkk 1 or 2 people comme ni ma ko waxee before but alhamdulillah now the dust is settled we are fine and okay since then so the dust was settled just maybe comme li ma ko wax 1 or 2 people ñoo doon génn di wax but apart from that we have no issue because the president is very wary when it comes to this legal rights and then the legal procedure as well of acquiring a football team.
Yeah, it's important that nga clear loolu noonu because dafa ñëw bëgg a jaay ñi doole ja bëgg a jaay nañ is good nga clear boobu waaye léegi let's go to the main topic. Let's ask what's the definition of success to you achieving results because this is for my example last da ngeen am coach bu es mid season ngeen daxa ko or agreement ngeen ñu nekk footballers xam nañ yéen what is success to you as success ndax win league nekk success yéen success to people or selling players moo nekk success to you yéen seen main primary goal as a club.
Okay, suñ la waxee rek I'm now speaking the mind of the president lim ñu gomloo ak li nekk si moom ak tamit lim ñu woon first hand information pour ñu am pour ñun TMT the definition of success is to rewrite Gambian football but of course through a club si noonu lañ ko mën a manifester exactly so suñ ko waxee nag it might look so awkward or it just might look any other statement boo saani si biti when we say rewrite Gambian football in general. But look, the steps are there, the actions are there, and si biir waxtaan bi of course yëpp dina feeñ te nit ñi dinañ ko xam. Of course, football investment la. When you're talking about investment, di nga xam ne yow as the CEO di nga invest through yaa xam si sax from your pocket or from sponsors or whatever you have. But also you need to generate funds to make sure ne nga run loolu because right now football mun naa la wane mun nañ koo ooyee a business entity boo xamante ne at the end of the day obviously so spending you will want to get your return as well but yes success means a lot for ñun because team la boo xamante ne have this winning mentality first we are here to win trophies just like any other club it doesn't matter that 2 years lañ am that 1 year lañ am wala whatever and now when you look at the records before it has showed it a back-to-back FF Cup final and at the same time ñu gis ne tamit suñ jigéen ñi they went up to the last how to call it again game when it comes to the GFF Women's League. So it tells you that first this club is driven by a great ambition of not only participating but also competing in the league that we are playing, that is the GFF, because ñaari trophies lañoo liggéey. Yes, when you talk about the other side, okay, jënd fi player, jaay fale player, I think what we are more concerned about is to make sure that you jox player fi there are definite opportunity boo xamante ne ni moom lañ soxla pour showcase seen talent. So they feel yes, they can do it with TMT. So they outside la tamit, yes, the president is very, very, very hardliner when it comes to that. But so gisee tey ñun suñ players yi comme as usual gisuñ leen ñëpp jóoru ji any other dëkka is because president bi always daf dee bëgga what is right for the player and what is right for the club as well. su fekkente ne play yi génn rek dem la rek bro maa la ko wax ni kon time bi TMT ñi ko startandoor ñëpp dem nañ but he always wants the best thing and he always wants the right thing so pour ñun daal li ma la wax mooy we want to rewrite Gambian football through our club TMT te si biir waxtaan bi just as I was saying dina ñëw first when it comes to winning trophies of course it's part of it when it comes to yes buying and selling players yes it's part of it but we also want to do it in the right way not pour jël player rek tànni leen noonu ñu dem ci any dëkk or anywhere fekk duñ am a follow up duñ am a proper procedure ak yooyu noonu we are just 5 years yaakamti wuñ si li ñoo def président bi yaakamti wut si lan la moo def so obviously pour ñun loolu moo ñoo mën a drive ba fuñ mën a agsi ñu war faa war a mën a agsi incha allah.
Okay, so rewriting things in terms of football. Let's say in terms of selling players in Gambia, yeah. Because for example, right now, who determines what is right for the player? Is it the player, the agent, or the president? Because so a player right now, to Cyprus, to an ordinary Gambian who is like Munga is a 5 step ahead. Like, understand? Why yen can you buttress on that? What do you mean in terms of selling players?
Okay, first of all, let's start locally. Locally, I think we are one of the few clubs who haven't any. Okay, hit na language you might just look so heavy for some, but nañ ko jappé né dañoo waxtaan in general context and we are not talking to any other team, but dañoo waxtaan li ko happen to Gambian football. We are not that club that will go to any like parent of the player, tek fa ben saako malo bi da nga diwlin ak yoy ne ko kay nga play. At the end of the day da nga ñew ñu ne ñu ñola mom ñu send la out on loan to anywhere xana so tojé ke ñu ñew ne wa okay suñ player la won ba ñu jëlaat ko. No, ñun we are not doing that. So when it comes to transfer, nit ñu bari la ñoo focus moy player yi fi them out. But no, let's start it locally. Ñun ba tay season bi players yu bari yuñ sign be it both male and female dañ leen dé sign with cash. Nekkul dañoo dem rek mënoon nañ koo def dem to the parents teg fa loolu ak loolu next minute player bi si contrat am jeexee mu mën a ñëw si ñun free of charge but no we are not doing that right now we are buying female players si price boo xam ne su ma la ko waxoon tey you will never believe at the end of the day te tey ñun fuñ doo buñ nok rek pour sign a player they will charge us money su fekkee jaral nañu ko of course we will break the bank and buy tey lu bëri ñun lu ñoo jëndee player bu jigéen laa la wax female players yi mën naa laa wax ne góor yi sax jaay wuñ ko noonu dima ñëwété seetaat record si previously some of these players bu ñëw egg first division some of these big name players yi nga xamante ne moom lañ indi we bought them to the hundreds of thousands tens of thousands sorry yaa ma understand so foofu noonu first loolu lañ like noom boobu noonu lañ njëkk a génnee player di transfer for free not ne ok we are driven by comme ni ko gars yi ñi den am xaalis xamul lu ñoo def ak nagam but no player service is absolutely very expensive waxuma play bi si boppam si jëma parce que dëgg la nit kenn du ko mën a jënd waaye service bu moo def that is football is extremely very expensive ba pare club bu mu jógee we have to remember it dafa am contribution bu ñu def si moom dañ ko yar train ko ba yow nga war koo gis nga war koo jënd so lu mu bon bro war ngaa teg dara si loxoom not ne 5 football ay 10 football ay bidon ngi diwlin saako maalo loolu mooy mën a génnee play bi ba mu ñëw but no we are breaking the bank pour mën a make sure ne ñun we are buying those players. Okay, secondly, su ñëwee si beneen phase bi mooy export leen jëlee leen fii yóbbu leen Europe let's say anywhere in Europe ñun the policy that we have is determination bi comme na ko waxee yes decision bi it's like a total consultation because player tam sooy ñëw si club su fekkee yow da nga am sa own representative you should tell us ne ok am nga sa representative loolu mu nekk loo xamante ne contract binding ñu xam ko players do that dañ dee mën a waxtaan seen representative fii ñu waxtaan ñoom ñu am sell on fees ak yeneen especially si club yi ngay jógee but problème bi dee am mooy we just don't want to sell our players to any random club boo xamante ne it is not even how to call it professional club wala whatsoever because tey bëri na Gambian players yoo xamante ne they are outside bro su ma la waxee lu gars di dundee ak lu gars di nekkee loolu daf dee overla métti si ñoom so that is the reason why ñun suñ président bi daf koo jaral mu bokk si ñi nga xamante ne ni dafa guide player bi fi mu laa yóbbu moom si boppam mu teg fa tànkaam mu gis lu fa am and that is the reason why today he has a lot of connection when it comes to most of these clubs yoo xamante ne xëj na bëgguñ ko unveil but he has a strong bond with them boo xamante ne moom si boppam mooy dem mu gis player okay I can give you for an example player like Adi suñ striker la jaayoon nañ ko fi last season dem na it was all over social media demoon na Sweden it was all over social media bi mu demee si club bi play na you know waaye da ngaa gis na club bi conditions yiñ teg it was not really favorable to the player. And after a thorough consultation, we believe na warna wara muna ñëwaat back Safi whilst we are working on something else again for him. So doon ñun xaalis rek lañ ci soxla dañ ko doon jaay rek bro ñu bàyyi ko mu dem. So that's the reason why I say dañoo rewrite when it comes to Gambian football itself. First, comme wax nga ko si affaire transfer bi. These are just few of the procedures yoo xamante ni ñun dañ ko dee def te dañ ko dee mën a am pour follow up bu baax. Even some of our players, I can tell you 3 of them. Yaya and Dong Sila Bokor. Yobu won nañ Saudi. They went there to a second division club. It was fine. They went there. They passed the trials and everything. But through that negotiations, a condition you guys take akinimel, with a thorough consultation with the players. Understand nañ ne loolu nekkutoon loo xamante ne dafa fi bu gaay. Te fii, alhamdulillah, I'm not saying they are receiving maybe key talks office they more receive, but Gambian Gambian football wise, they are receiving a healthy salary at least low that can sustain them. So we are not only there sell players outside, but what we are focusing on also to guide them. So that's why I said we are rewriting history both local and international transfers as well.
Wow, interesting. Yang ngi benn point boo xamante ne I'm very happy that TMT ñu ngi def loolu noonu because Gambia one boole. And I will agree with you. So you guys are rewriting history because Gambia Sundeja player is it an ball phones and ben set of jazz jeex voilà ñu ne la kii dafa jaay kii disclose ko waaye yéen wax yow wax nga ci sa biir wax yéen léegi fu nekk ngeen for example team solo Alassane Balo ñu ne ñaata la ñu ne la li ki player bi 50,000 la ngeen génn 50,000 ci da ka transfer and player bu
pour man boy
fogulo ne pour ngeen step ahead pour ngeen dem step ahead pour nit yi xam ne okay you people new business su fekkee ne da ngeen jëndee Alassane 100,000 fogulo ne you should have a PR department boo xamante ne mën naa génne news ne okay TMT you know comme nit yi nu ko defee rek sign Alassane Balo you know team XYZ this particular understand transparency and it encourage other teams yoo xamante ne rek
you guys loolu lu am solo la but loolu am na advantage am na disadvantage advantage bi mooy ne yes TMT jënd nañ player bi si nangam xaalis loolu ok record la parce que man xam naa ne liñ signé some of these players yi am ni some of them man xam naa ne loolu record la but disadvantage bi mooy ne even without doing this bro TMT saa yi nogee sa doo rek yow da ngaa foog ne moom nekk nga like a millionaire overnight because so len charge lo len charge rek you know guy dañ ko fay that's why sometimes that how they perceive the president or club bi ci bopam so da nga gis ne comme yow lo wax am na solo warna wara mëna nekk but am na disadvantages the disadvantages yi lolu nak lañ nekk di feel ci market bi as of now because li xew moy ñun most of these clubs hana season bi la sax la gis ne okay club soxla na players ñun sax ñu laaj la dara because ñun tam we felt ne hey Omar bro this is not fair ñun waru no mëna nek player buñ soxla ñu charge ñu ñun player bu bëgga dem nga bay ko nonu mu dem waaye because of this mën naa la wax yërmande bi mu day am si player yi te xam na ne okay he just wants them to shine if they feel ne they are no more not even wanted or maybe they are not considered football wise TMT maybe they can go and venture into something else but yes advantage bi mu ngi fa disadvantage bi mu ngi fa but trust me si players yi njaay ni am na ñoo xamante ne ni dañ leen fayal seen tuition fees yi pour ñu continuer seen college courses am na ñoo xamante ne apart from only jox team bi cash defal nañ leen loolu am na ñoo xamante ne ni dañ break bank bi pour dem si clubs yooyu noonu ñu dem sign leen si xaalis boo xamante ne xaalis bu weex tàll la te tey suñ ko déggoon when it comes to Gambian bi du mën a gëm ne ndax female football dëgga jarnali at our own local level nag laa wax maybe not in Europe or maybe any semi-professional or professional league outside maybe in Africa but locally dina doon xam ne we are doing that but comme li ma la wax rek I have to be honest with you parce que dañoo waxtaante Gambian thing la amut loo xamante ne moom la ñoo nuba advantage bi mu ngi fa waaye disadvantage bi moo ëppa because as of now and as I am even speaking they will always think ne ok ñi dañ am xaalis wala xamuñu ñoo def wala nangam but président bi bro dañ waxante dëgga moom pour ñun lim ñu gomloo ak tamit li am mooy ne dafa gom ne player yi service like a service players yi ak teams yi liñ investi player bi they should at least reap the benefit of at least having a small token boo xamante ne mun na leen a njëriñ ci dara rather than player bi di dem for free wala fekke xëj na parents yi player yi ñooy am benn ñaar ñetti saako malo suñ ko lekkee benn 1 month jeexal nañ ci. So you know, am na advantage but disadvantage are upper, and even right now si market bi that's what we are suffering from.
Okay, Alasan, you have any question or any follow-up questions, Alasan?
Yeah, Alpha Jerejef, I am very happy that like you came and you're very open. You are talking as if you really want to say it all as it is. Telulu is what we want. We definitely want more Gambians. When we invite you or you have the opportunity to be here on the show, you are so open and just say it as it is. That is very, very much appreciated. So thank you very much for that. I hope people will definitely learn from that. Why Alpha sa president B Noko Waheni, this guy I really can see that you have high hopes, on him, the way he runs the club and his investment and all that. But man, I just want to ask you a question. Bo hamne yangene kom player yo len de jena they break the bank. And when you say break the bank, sometimes it be more than them, because when you break a bank for a player, it has to be really substantial amount of money. He probably can live with that money almost for the rest of his life. But I just want you to clarify on that. When you say break the bank, are we talking about in the millions, or are we just talking about few thousands of dollars?
But Alasan, foog ñu understand tam Gambian level lay waxee ok comme loolu laa soo seetloo suma wax bi before wax naa ne ok buñ measure affaire when we say break the bank or whatever buñ ko measure as if ne professional league or semi pro league or but Gambian level ñun xam nañ ne li ñoo jëndee female player or li ñoo jëndee player gisuma benn club boo xamante ne ni jëndee nga ko fii player ñun loolu we are sure of that because at least lu mu bon we have been into Gambian football for a very long time understand nañ market bi naka la dee demee ak yooyu noonu. Yes, we are not talking about millions, we are not talking about hundreds of thousands, but tens of thousands. Lolo agana fufu. At our own level, hamda ne tay suñ ko tego ñu wara tek records and every club mu gëna ak honesty dina xamne what we are paying for some of these services, these player services. Come on, bro. Lolo, it to the highest. Okay, that's one. Two. Okay, acha ñëwal.
No, I just wonder, because we had another guest also last week, and based on everything, if you calculate, everyone wants to say or want to make their team to be the best, when it comes to recruitment, when it comes to strategy, when it comes to player welfare and all that. And it's good. The competition is really good when it is backed up, by the reality on the ground. So you buying these players with tens of thousands. So you are very certain that TMT, when it comes to recruiting and buying players, you are the best at it. You offer the highest money in recruiting players, and not other teams. Like, let's say your top competitors. We have the Real de Banjuls, we have the BST Galaxies. So you are sure that TMT recruits players with a bigger amount of money than these top two giants clubs in the Gambia.
Yeah, with the level that we are in, I'm not sure that any club will want openly put what I'm gonna compete low and you they're gonna gender players, they're gonna because bro, Kaimola one thing, if you start doing that, I'm not team you haven't then you'll upper bahat then you'll start the day season play. Yeah, understand. And even right now, and even right now, we are suffering. Lola Bagahama. Even the prices are not out there. Why? Come on. We have been in Gambian football. We know services players in exactly Lalende Jarbo. And I'm telling you for free. Like Swing President, we look up player you Jaral. Actamit how much he wants to give back to the services of the player Axi Club Bumjuge. Come on, man Lolo Hamnane. We are number one, especially when it comes to this season. Lolo Moman Hamnako. But yes, we don't want to do that competition here because at the end of the day, even player Hamilton is even out of contract. Malawi player Hamilton is out of contract. You only need a clearance. Clearance we can go to GFF and then acquire that clearance. You like Halis Bohamne just because of his TMT. Or maybe just because of Mota Sokotelo, I'm not so Hamilton send recruitment process then go change. So ko bàyyi xel they rather go nationwide seet ndoo yoo xamante ne maybe okay then have contract they are very good ñu indi leen guy play leen because now if they example rek laa joxe if you talking about maybe Real de Banjul tey soo toogee ñu ne ok Real de Banjul ñoo soxla suma player bro sa player su jëloon $5 sax di nga ko value to $100. So da ngaa gis ne I don't think the club owners yi they want openly to compete ne hey maa dee gën a jënd player ak yooyu because am na advantages because yes di nga dimbale player bi di nga dimbale team bi but am na disadvantages because you know they will just want to run over you.
No, why?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, go ahead, base.
No, the thing is, I think for the purpose of transparency, you know, moving Gambia football to the next level. Gambia moving at the same level. Listen, this club on us, Mike. Gambia has always been this stage for the past 10, 15, 20, 30 years. Understand? Gambia, the highest side in the history of Gambia football. Wala Alpha yo da nga xam.
No, munuma ko xam. You know why base? Because pour nga xam ko tamit dafa kind of difficult. But xam nga yow soo nekkee sport journalist and then nga involved so much about Gambian football and these clubs. Bro, yow sa bopp di nga mën a understand because kay moo la one thing nag there is an underground information boo xamante ne moo dee daw player yëpp a xamante clubs yi ñëpp a xamante ñun xam nañ how it works. waaye léegi su fekkente ne exemple tey ñu ngi woon ci benn because tey Sénégal ay dama gis ne sax dañ ko include this season ñoom am nañ this I think is transfer market or something like that whereby seen players yi dañ leen dee mën a def seen value bi foofu tey GFF suñ ko amoon daf doon mën a yomba nit ku nekk tey mënoon ngaa dem trigger buy out clause am nga mun koo jënd oo nga xam ne presse bi lii la moo laaj nga mun koo lii but hence loolu amut léegi discrétion bi daf dee des club bi si boppam gis nga club bi su la ne du jaay loolu yow mun loo si dara as far as the player bi muy am foofu noonu contrat so pour nga war a mën a determine loolu on a transparency level you like maybe nga dem si record fekk ko fa dafa difficult but ñun xam nañ li fi nekk xam nañ li nekk si Gambian football and I'm telling you we are doing that but okay we are not doing that tamit pour jaay doole comme ñu bëri luñ dee wax o dafa am xaalis o dafa nangam no we are not doing that comme li ma la wax rek then respect service player bi then respect them fi moo jógee understand that they have to at least gain from that
yeah that's important why it's not on the club lolu responsibility GFF pour dimbale players yi we have to be honest with little players we understand that yeah no matter how good you are am na ñoo xamante ne understand so the thing is the more we have this in the market you know the more salary cap bi muy because according to sources am na player yoo xamante ne they pay am na ñoo xamante ay $1,000 lañ leen di jox salary and that takes me to my next question you people your salary cap is it that you give it to players or
this I think loolu aman na Gambia ne boy player $1,000 yi ko yoo xam ne mu ngi play GFF division 1 loolu su amee moom boy ñu ñiwi
moo dama laaj alpha because dégg na am na ñoo xamante ne sax duñ leen dee fay understand
it's very terrible
am na ñoo xamante ne pay am na ñoo xamante ne
non loolu moom
daa criteria play yu dee fay ak yaa ñu war a fay am na ñoo xamante ne pay them based on their performance so
no best loolu moom to be honest in a general point of view loolu lu am la it's happening am na ñoo xamante ne seen club si dañoo dem play only match bonus lañ dee am or even match bi su jeexee ñu jox leen pass ñu dem ok player itam soo gisee gars yi di ko def maybe ñoom dañ gis ne club bi at least they having playing time te gateway la maybe national team any category call up mun na faa nekk or at least nga move on to a bigger club boo xamante ne maybe mun na laa jaay o ko comme fii ni mu dee xappune rek ñoom biyaay ak gars yi dem indi fële ay agents maybe ñu gis la sa talent ñu mun laa sign so ñooñu moo tax gars yi leen dee jaral gars yi da ko dee def okay on the side of the club ñeneen ñi they don't have the financial muscle to do that to be honest they don't have the financial muscle to do that mooy pour ñu fay salary si ñoo xamante ne nag one of the clubs yoo xamante ne they are paying salary man I can attest to what is happening at in TMT ñun suñ player yëpp male ak female everybody they are contracted and they are contracted based on salary as well weer bu dee da ngaa gis player yi nu nga di rangee si office bi di ñëw di collect seen paycheck loolu dafa utee ak bonus ci gars day am ak yeneen a yeneen sooy check loolu tamit comme li ma la wax rek Gambian level comme average salary bi Gambian level fii yes of course ñun ñu ngay fay player yoo xamante ne nii tey kuy toog si office yóbbuwu ko dara bro wala am na liggéey yoo xamante ne nii yóbbuwu ko dara we know that is happening yes some players are lower some players are higher depending on yen agreement yoo leen am but also coming to the transfer tamit buñ fàtte ne tamit we have to be honest with you ne sometimes there is this mutual agreement bi dee am diggante clubs there is this mutual understanding kon bi dee am diggante clubs sometimes you want my best player bi wane na ne yes dafa bëgg a am pour dem you negotiate at your own level ngeen dem when it comes to contractual issues beeg yooyu loolu moom JFF sort nañ ko out mu réglé 100% we commend them for that but the only thing maybe lu des mooy xëy na boobu suñu àggee si a professional or semi professional league mun naa am mooy market value bi player bi gis nga loolu mooy dooleel player bi mooy dooleel club bi ci boppam because yes competition bi tamit dafa gën a high bro tey TMT they are having one of the best players or beneen club you can name them beneen club bu ees mun naa jógee fale with their financial muscle you buy all the Galacticos in the GFF league su boobaa competition la you have a 2-horse race whereby for the past 10 years di nga ne benn ñaari club ñoo win league bi yëpp so pour man yes am na ñoo xamante ne they are soo ko seetloo in a general point of view salary bi am na ñoo xamante ne duñ dee even sa receive salary but on TMT I'm telling you every male and female am na ñoo xamante ne they are even on loan we are still paying them salary trust me so that is happening in first and second division both male and female both male and female loolu mu ngi am foofu noonu
Alassane
Right, it's very sad, it's very sad, and I understand your point, very well, ne comme am na player yoo xam ne because look gis nga ñun Gambian we love football ñun football dañ ko bëgga I don't understand lu tax football bi probably moom moo ñu nekk di daw but ñun we always want to get close to it, and this is the reason why players will choose to buy training gears for themselves ñu jënd everything pour seen boppa nga xam ne maybe sax amuñ doole bi maybe seen am mutut waaye da ngaa gis ne dañoo jënd dara bu ko rek ñu jënd invest jënd training kits just pour them train pour play at the end of the day they just love the game waaye pour man I am so sad ne comme amuñ this administration or a policy in place boo xam ne at least soo demee ba war a play to first division in the GFF loolu even if you tell me Alpha xam naa ne probably dégg la mu ngi am de but man I will never choose to believe it ne comme player dina nekk in GFF Gambia first division koo xam ne nekku di am salary loolu is like loolu is the worst that you can do to someone because dégg la am na ñoo xam ne they have a job on the side dina lañ dimbale I understand that and they come to play and you probably choose not to give them the salary waaye am na ñoo xam ne nekkul ñëpp a dee toog office nekkul ñëpp a dee liggéey am na ñoo xam ne just football rek mooy seen life football mooy seen everything and you choose not to give those people salaries it is just ridiculous loolu man I can never man dëgg la mu ngi am waaye pour man just for my peace of mind I choose not to believe ne loolu mu ngi am because loolu is so embarrassing loolu is so degrading loolu is inhumane I can say the least nit mu nekk in GFF first division koo xam ne nekk di dara loolu dafa daw yaram loolu dafa daw yaram
Alassane that's why we even choose to call it allowance rather than salary because in financial terms maybe salary is taxable xam nga social security fale yeneen and that is not happening when it comes to Gambian football ak yooyu because now if the authorities start to tax these teams income wala whatsoever that they're having so obviously dafa mën a reflect back that's why in the pre-season meeting or the team management meeting bi ñu am ak GFF as they say they are working tirelessly on that nga xam ne even su demee semi pro or professional level tax yooyu noonu dinañ ko mën a exempt nga xam ne even whatever yow su fekkee da nga pay player whatever amount nga xamante ne loolu will suit him so that is the reason why Alassane I told you from the beginning ne TMT ñun luñ bugga mooy ene buñ am mooy ñu rewrite history bi not only comme lu ñëw wax ay transfer yi wala in terms of finance ak yeneen but also the approach towards infrastructure si bopam. I'm sure you will want to talk about that because they club si bari alhamdulillah ñu ngi am sen PG bopa. Some as on a neutral point of view is standard, some are substandard, but at the end of the day pitches will and ñu ngi play. And then TMT also xam nga ne we are not lagging behind as far as that infrastructure is concerned. So obviously, we will want to make sure, apart from this salary cap, oh sorry, wages cap, transfer cap, but also there are other sectors you have the TMT will venture in it. You have you know, in future generations in Tala, they will enjoy, or if they emulate, you know, that will really help Gambian football.
Yeah, Alpha, you touched on this, you know, recruitment, you know, that you buy players and all that. But apart from seeing a player that you like and buying the player, do you do any other sort of recruitment strategies, like, you know, just see somebody with promise, you know, somebody that you truly believe in, and just, you know, let him play and train with the team, and then, you know, there you have a superstar? Is that also something that you look?
Interesting question, Alassane. And fofu sa dama fa bëgg def bu baaxa baax pour nit ñi tamit ci biti ñu understand, because that's what many people think. Dañoo dem gis ready-made player jaay. But remember, we have a short-term plan and we have a long-term plan. Recently, Soko Baye Hell is not only the players that we are signing, but backroom staff bi ci bopam, it's really been equipped very well, both male and female side bi. And then sun feeder team bi as well, mooy sun youth team boo xamante ne am nañ ko. Last year performance Africa Scout bi, we played up to the quarterfinal stage, I believe, but you know, we were kind of discontent with, you know, some of the, you know, mbir mi ni mu fa demee, because da nga gis regular GFF player boo xamante ne he's competing week in week out si league bi, nga gis ko mu ñëw wàccaat ne dafa play si Africa Scout under 17 bi. Pour ñun that was absolutely not fair. War na noo bàyyi xale yoo xamante ne maybe they are not having opportunity to play si league bi and then they play there. Okay, loolu one thing la. Suñ recruitment bi, ñun suñ setup yi ñu am, we brought in a technical director, well equipped as well. Sarr ku ko xam na ne jàmbaar la, gaynde la si la moo def. Suñ backroom staff bi tamit dañ ko equip ak with more coaches ak with more technical minded persons as well. Now you go to our feeder team, dañ jëlee coach Sissoko laa ko mën a ooyee, dañ ko jëlee all the way from Senegal because of his credentials and the record that he has when it comes to grassroots development. We brought him here, ñu jox ko trials 1 week, them rent goal project, ñu bàyyi ko mu train ak xale yi. We also bring in our expert behind closed doors, guy di seetaan di xam, ñu recommend ko na xam ne waa kii can do something with it. So we hired him, paying him a lot of money, dekal ko fii, di ko lekkal, di ko naanal. His sole responsibility is to make sure ne player development only, loolu rek mooy liggéeyam. So amoon nañ ndoo yoo xam ne ñu doon liggéey ak ñoom, like we are bringing them up bit by bit. This year sax am nañ benn ñaari xale yoo xamante ne, benn xale boo xamante ne was selected in the under 17, previous under 17 bi amoon nañ leen. They are thinking how best to integrate leen si first team bi si boppam. Loolu long term plan bi la. So am nañ ay chief scout boo xamante ne tamit moo dee go around recruit players yi pour ñu indi leen, pour when it comes to youth team bi si boppam ñu seet lan lañ manqué, ñu development to the maximum, because ñun gëm nañ ne the future of TMT foofu la nekka. That is the long plan. Short-term plan bi nag am na, because come on bro, we are competing in the GFF First Division League. We are back-to-back finalists when it comes to the FF Cup. So obviously, mënuloo ñëw nga dem back-to-back finals and thinking the next season, okay, my main aim and objective is just to maintain in the First Division League and not to win trophies. Of course, our ambition is to win trophies. Dem nañ finals ñaari yoon. Why not bang the GFF First Division League? Or why not bring home the FF Cup itself? So lolu short term plan la, and that's why we have coach Aliou ak gaayam yi ñuy liggéey ci lolu. Ñoom ñoo xam ne okay, last season play nañ, lii lañ mankele, this is the player that we want, ñu dem break bank bi, suñu ko jarele ñu break bank bi indi ko mu ñëw pour mu saaf ñu, and our purpose of at least, you know, bringing home a trophy. Society jigéen ñi tamit, remember we went so close. That was the last game against Berewuleng. Dañ leen jiitu woon, su game bi jeexee woon noonu, we would have been crowned champions and represent Gambia in the qualification of the CAF Champions League in Wafu Zone A. Eventually, we lost 2-1 to Berewuleng. So, as a short-term plan, what would you think, Alassane? Obviously, it's like, okay, why not we go in for the trophy? We went to the wire to, you know, and then we lost it against the eventual champions. so nit ñi boor boobu lañ nekk di gën a gisee yaa ma understand te ba pare foofu la media attention bi gën a amee but CEO bi is very he has this vision of what he wants, and when he transmits that to the technical director and the coaches, they have started working on that, and right now so far so good. This then it is absolutely bearing fruit because Halle played against second division team. Even though it was a test game, Munloko Jape something look competitive, but you Gisnan Lenduba. We brought in agents that came here. Agents Gisnan recommendation that say a certain Halle, you haven't they are played. Their age are 14, 15 years of age. And trust me, you government lolo mo the future of TMT. So apart from breaking the bank, buying players, I'm telling you, ñun recruitment biñ am ci suuf bés buñ feeñee ci kaw Alassane xam naa ne suñ team A bi sa gars dinañ waaroo trust me.
Yes. Yeah, go ahead, base.
You spoke about the CAF championship. When you realize Gambia moy, most of the teams they concentrate in league bi da nga dengal ñu league bi mu wara nga wara dem CAF championship halis amut da nga out sponsor do am sponsor so yeah right now you guys you kind of re-strategize who to sell when to sell how to play more mun leen this play yu bari so let's say for example next season ngeen ñu league bi ngeen dem CAF championship.
No, base gis na suma la waxee suma dëgg rek I can tell you for free ne xëj na duñ ko manifest waaye tey GFF officials yëpp laa la wax soo xaroon seen xool final boobu mooy suñu FF Cup final bi ak Greater Tomorrow soo xaroon seen xool they'll want to tell you ne okay we simply bugga nañ TMT bi for the simple fact ne xam nañ ne they will register and they will play the Confederation Cup ñun loolu moom président bi loolu moom mos a nekk ambition am because gis nga moom fi mu nekk di gisee wallahi am telling you okay yàlla rek a xam lay happen si kanam but aimé bu mu am ak lu mu pare pour def pour Gambian football bro trust me he's not even only thinking about the Gambia kii West Africa la nekk di xool fan la Nigerian team si toolu fan la Senegalese team yi toolu fan la Ghanaian team si toolu foofu la nekk di xoolee so da ngaa gis ne pour ñun participate either Champions League qualification round participate how to call it again CAF Confederation Cup the qualification round Lolo has never been our issue when it comes to whether they didn't participate or not. Li nekk suñu issue mooy ñun nañ win trophy rek ak trophy bu mën a nekk bro inshallah you will see TMT participating in this competition and we are not only going to do it just the okay dem nañ gada nañ xaalis ñëwaat nañ toogaat nañ no we will want to compete to qualify and that is the reason why sama wax la ne we are bringing all these players including national team players yoo xam ne ñun am na leen already that is the home base national team. You have almost 3 or 4 players who are maintenance. They are part of that setup. And we brought in more players who are maintenance. They are potential when it comes to that. So we just don't want to make sure we win an league or win an FF Cup, new them to competition be just to be like making up the number. But we want to go there and achieve what law maintenance maybe yenen teams you maintenance jarning for guy demon ko achieve. And that's our ambition for sure.
Why legi man suma personal view luma assess moy TMT has one man bo xamanteni jazz funds university understand why fogulo na when started di jaay ben ñaar ñetti player the club as an entity will have some funds bo xamantene la tere borom bi su nekute we will still run fogulo na I'll send one or two players dimbale in the long run person who want to be financial. So you have a different perspective in terms of Alva. Quick bitanga na from of
Boy, no man, I wanted to say, to be honest, if this, the owner of TMT, warna fay alpha, suneke mungi fay alpha, warna yoka salary because the guy he has so much passion for this team and the way he talks and all that. Man, alpha could not be like on, but look at the way the guy talks and the guy, he is so much in the job. So he knows the ins and the outs and everything, but whatever the case may be, he has done his homework, really well. And I am very, very, very much excited that, the guy have really good, stuff for the team that he supports, or the team that he is a member of. Why at the end of the day, base TMT and I giant band player like send whole 5 years. Yeah, of course, because man, I was thinking maybe they have sold maybe a player or two. Lolo, it shouldn't be a problem. With everything, the way he was talking and the vision that they had. So I think the team, structure-wise, the team is absolutely amazing with technical directors, with a coach from Senegal, an international coach for that matter. It's amazing, paying for his rent, paying for food and all that. It's amazing. It's really nice. So they have a very good structure. They have everything in place. So it's just a shame that I haven't been very much into Gambian football, since I came, here. But the stage is set, because when whoever we talk to, they just praise their teams and they raise the level and the bar so high that, what, I just want the GFF League to start so I can watch these teams, and see what they really have in store, or what they have to offer. Because it's just amazing.
Nala jox ñaari team. TNT.
Yeah.
BST Galaxy.
Wow.
In the next 5 years, they will dominate Gambian football. Especially BST Galaxy. TMT, I understand okay, they want to. At some point, the more you keep recruiting, you are not selling. At the end of the day, I know Chelsea. You have 40 players, 50 players, you don't know what to do with them. Lord, that would create more problem than something I am as a team. Because you are just engaging a player. Alpha is back. Let me get him.
Momola call.
Wow. So he's coming.
Yeah, no, base Mandal. To be honest with you, I will be going, and looking, at the table when the GFF League starts, because this is really exciting. Because man, to be honest, when I was in Gambia, we didn't really have this, these new teams with new ambitious owners, owners that really want to invest in their teams. I was not fortunate to be part of it. Yeah.
Alpha yang ma dega.
Yeah, ma dega. Wa mala dega ba sure.
Wa su fekkene call si la.
No.
Te dañoo deviate tuuti because in programme normally 1 hour la wa te fo ñu dem bi 1 hour 15 minutes because yow question yi
ñu wax ñu paré dal base.
Wow, dafa mel yow fo ñu la 1 hour 30 minutes.
Yeah, sure.
Ba legi bala nga dem understand nga sama question bi na ma repeat ko.
Wa repeat ko quickly rek.
Wow, lu ma daan wax mooy bëgg leen at this stage start to sell few players. The club as an entity, mu am some funds, mu use that as an operating expenses or whatever you people might call it. That's number one. Two, relying on one part, on one person to run a particular project for you, it's not safe. Understand? So, man, suma just as a finance guy, as a football, I think it's better you start the guy right now. No, do len tere ngeen nekk di at ndax yéen da ngeen and that question mooy ñaata player ngeen jaay in this 5 years.
Okay, the thing is, first of all, the president will always tell you, Bugana jay, yes, no problem. Warna no jay, yes, no problem. But daf ko buga def in the right way, just like I was explaining before. Buguma say delewat muy leka mo suñ time. So ñun amuñ that issue. Because the thing is, yes, just recently, right? Ñu bari war nañ ko wara mëna gis social media. We brought in here at least 3 agents or even four agents yoo xamante ne nii they are from outside working with highly respected teams ak yooyu noonu. Yes, we brought them here pour mën a make sure that we just showcase the talent that we have pour ñu lii, but those are agencies or those are clubs yoo xamante ne dañ establish a very good relationship ak ñoom ba pare gis nañ seen working condition. Président bi dem na ba foofu gis na seen structure bi, xam na a bit of history about the club. So mbir mi loolu la. In as much as you're talking about, okay, give and take la at the end of the day, but président bi moom dafa am vision am, dafa am si lum gom mooy ne no matter what xaalis bi neex na, yes, but jaarale ko si yoon pour nga xamante ne process boobu noonu su moo continuer, more benefit will be reaped for sure. Secondly, comme nga ne benn nit génne si posam ak hit na dëgg la duñ fi mën a toog di disclose on behalf of président bi or how TMT financially operate, but ku ko xam na ne dafa professional in what he's doing. We have legal-minded people within our administration. We have well-respected financial individuals yoo xamante ne are within our midst, and that's why whatever we do it according to budget boo xamante ne nii we created it, we put it on just to make sure ne team bi am na guidelines fekk we are not going to spend indiscriminately. So anything that we are doing, anything loo xamante ne ñu ngi ko def, be it player sale, infrastructure or whatever, si luñ mën a involve rek, it is a well calculated move. Nekkul ne you just do it out of random ak yooyu noonu. That's why people like us ñu ñëw tamit society administration bi make sure ne all the checks and balances are on, make sure ne bookkeeping ak yeneen ak yeneen they are all formulated. We want to make sure ne def nañ loolu yëpp in order. If I'm not living, then beneen question bi, I think I have to get it. maa ngi am foo xamante ne foofu laa ko binde, then I will name you names comme programme bi ni moo dawee rek, then I will try to get it now. Ma jox leen tur yoo xamante ne yes, along the line, some of them jaay nañ leen, they are playing, some are in Spain, some are in other countries. Am na ñoo xamante ne sax jaay nañ leen to this African countries ba Mozambique sax jaay nañ fa player with a very good condition boo xamante ne ni player bi is within one of the goalkeepers of the previous under 20. Comme ni ma la wax nag sales yooyu noonu yëpp daf day nekk in consultation with the player ak representative am su fekkente ne TMT is not the representative of the player. But yes, am nañ tamit player yoo xamante ne jaay nañ leen Finland. We have player also in Spain. We have couple of players yoo xamante ne yes, they are in their clubs, they are in a very good condition. ñun sonuñ si lu bari. The president is there, they leen check all the time, make sure that he's talking to the be it club owners or coaches or technical directors to make sure that those players are developing. They are not there only idling, but they are there developing, and then to make sure that Tamit guy put them on the right track. So Lolo Tamit is on the pipeline. But just like I said, you're talking about Club Mohammed Teneni, it's just barely 5 years, bro. And if we are able to achieve all these things, and then Muna make sure that from at this infant stage, make sure that then when it comes to we are financially disciplined, in terms of technical aspect, we have recruited more people. So trend being with proper management, I can tell you, we can achieve actually what we want to do. But let me tell you this for free. The president is very conscious of professionalism. That's why he brought in all these people to help him and then to guide him towards achieving his success. Because saying, I want to be the best in the Gambia or I want to be the best in West Africa, Lolu, could better, let me say, could even $1 billion mola come. You can have the money, but if you don't have the expertise to execute that, come on, bro, it's going to be a zero deal. So he knows exactly what he's doing. People that are well experienced surround him and they are guiding him towards what he wants to do.
Boy, Alpha, I just want to comment, the ownership, especially your club, TMT. Man don't wa base, but me offline. Man time man don't joge Gambia manu. Like we didn't have this. Come like very young individuals. You have to invest some money, into a football club. But you gum ko you stick to see lulu, because man luma don't dig ak luma don't yaga gis is just people just buy a club and just wow, so what, they just buy a club and you play, they don't even care, why come you the way you talk man do what business salary they call increase because the way you talk for this team, and it's like amazing, the passion that you have for it, for the team. Yeah, I'm just saying it. Sa boss nekk mu ngee déglu, to be honest with you, whatever salary you receive, he has to double it, because to be honest with you, you talk from your heart, and it shows that you really love what you do, and the team. So that's really perfect. But man, I just wanted to understand, with all this investment, and you said that you have sold players, like let's say all over the world, because you're selling players to Finland, you have sold players to Spain, you sold players, to even parts of Africa. So it's okay, it's good. Why man, I just want to ask you about the GFF League prize money come first division B. $1 million. Stolen, you already know that when you win the league, you're paid $1 million. The man, based on the way you are talking, with all of the backroom staff that you have, with everything that comes with the club, I am guessing that you spend more than $5 million, in a season. This is just a guess. I don't really know, but it's not really important. But I know for sure you spend more money than what the GFF League prize money is. Why, just knowing that you will receive $1 million, does this really discourage you going into a season knowing that it's just $1 million on offer, or is it more about winning the trophy? I just want to understand, the mind of TMT, football club. The prize money, 1 million, is it something that will add something, financially to your team, which I don't believe, because the way you talk, and all the spending, all the expenditure that you do, $1 million is really nothing. It's just peanuts. It's probably just your one month or 2 weeks budget. What do you really think about the $1 million prize money for the GFF Division 1? It's too low, isn't it?
Yeah, I would say yes. So ko bëggee compare tamit ak at least some West African countries yoo xamante ne ñoom ñoo fi nekka, or even tamit with the level boo xamante ne ni hit na TMT boobu la aga, because foofu laa gën a involve, TMT laa gën a mën a waxal, and like ñoom lay represent fii. To tell you, even FF Cup final bi nii, whatever amount of money that was the prize money, the president, like, he was just like disappointed that yes, it didn't come. But trust me, wallahi, he was willing to give even double that amount to the players only. So okay, when it comes to that $1 million compared to our budget and how much he's investing when it comes to Gambian football, Lolo Mom, to be honest, yes, it's kind of low when you compare it with that. But on the other hand as well, so ko seetloo fii ñun ci suñ own level, that is the Gambia, fan la GFF prize money bi jógee ak fu mu àgga nii tey, ak now they are thinking about going professional league. So obviously we'll expect maybe that prize money, dina egg more. You can say it's, even though one can say, okay, hit na mungi slow or better mungi tuti, when you balance it with your own finance, that is now TMT. I'm talking about TMT. But I think in another way around also, we should at least give them credit si benn board, because am na fiñ ko jëlee, am na fiñ ko yóbbu. Even though yes, maybe mën na no expect ne every year war naa war a mën a yokku at least by 500 or 250,000. The content maybe àggoon nañ benn $2 million or $3 million at the end of the day. And that is the reason why tamit TMT is not only stopping at comme li ma la wax rek, president be dig out from his pocket and then doing things. It's also doing other avenues yoo xamante ne ni loolu mun naa generate wealth. But the problem now is when you look at it in TMT format, that's the scenario. But in general context, it's a different story. How about a team boo xamante ne ni maybe moom kenn mënu koo jàppale even with benn 10,000. And do you know now, that's the reason why you have some Gambian players yoo xamante ne sometimes even match bonus ga duñ ko rek am, because the club has nothing to give them. A first division league team, 150,000 plus, then sponsor with 50,000, let's say 200,000 got am for a preparatory money. Lolu soko gene yow ci sa salary cap bi, TMT salary wax right now, soko gene ci salary cap bi ak yenen, that's virtually nothing. But maybe see another team, lolu mun na nek something, because lolu mun na ko manage pour joxe pass ak yenen. So Alassane, that's the different contrast depending on your ban team guy represent or your koy gisee Gambian football or su fekkee yow danga ko match around the world or Africa ni mu demee. I agree playing back to back African Nations Cup bro loolu right now waroon nañoo war a mën a elevate fi mu nekk nii mu dem and I don't only believe that that has to only do with GFF. Yes, they are the driving force ñoom lañ dénk football, but at the end of the day football bi fi taxaw or federation bi fi taxaw you must have a clear support even from the government itself. Nga delluwaat foofu noonu GFF will tell you okay xaalis boo xamante ne it was meant for this and this and this and that dinañ ko jël ñu transfer ko def ko ci lii because tam loolu tam is a priority because suñ bëgg a toppee foot to foot lu CAF or FIFA day joxe subvention ne foofu lañ ko war a dugal am telling you so many things du mun a dox so man dama gëm ne pour loolu GFF league bi 1 million it's a collective responsibility even though I agree yes GFF will be the driving force because ñoom lañ dénk football bi ñoom lañ ko mën a laaj bu ñu noo dem si ministry of youth and sports di collecte football sports infrastructure most of it loolu lañ ko mën a laaj so two things rek lay daanelee fii mooy ne on the perspective of TMT yes receiving 1 million after winning the league after so many games bro is too small sorry rek ma interject fii tuuti rek because okay I'm also into other sports mooy wrestling do you know ne ñun benn wrestler si benn takusaan boo xam ne su fekkente ne lamba bi is even 1 second la am sax mu daanu wala eventually ñu daan ko sax highest paid wrestler in Gambia is $550,000 a single bout. $550,000. Yeah, so after all, nga play league bi ñaata games, traveling, them expenses, $1 million. So ko calculate si board bobo, we have to be honest with each other. Yes, dafa li waatam so delluwaatee gannaaw nga seet previous federation ti lan leen doon joxe bu gaay ñëwee fan leen fekkoon affaire ak yooyu xam nga still 1 million tamit you can say that okay they are improving maybe they are improving slowly in terms of the prize money ak yeneen but tamit you know man personally on my personal point of view and on the point of view of TMT ñun gis-gis bi lañ ci am daal.
Wow, Lolu Alpha, thank you very much for that answer. That's really good. You know, but wax nga ne comme GFF fu gaay jëlee the prize money by indi ko fee. You know, we have to commend them. And yes, of course, that's very true. That's very right. You know, why man belegi I think with $1 million say prize money, Lolu, to be honest, it's not even worth playing for. Niti dañoo play rek because of love bu gaay am si football bi. Man, I think most of these clubs, they are not going into a season to win the trophy primarily for the $1 million. Lolu probably nañ ko just take aside because I don't really think a team is well run. Well-run team team it whatever team ñoo xam ne probably gaay mënu ñoo taxaw sa waru ñoo like comme mënu ñoo joxe sa training fair because man façon team yooyu noonu I don't really think sax comme you know they are serious because when you own a team you should be able to know what you're getting into, you should be able to know what is involved and then get a team and run it in a good way. Why just jënd team rek nga ne naa jox pass or probably amuloo even pass boy joxe then you don't even need to own a team, you know. So man, I'm just saying that come players they love to play. The administration, they are in this because they love the game in one way or the other, but it's not because of the prize money. $1 million lolu defalut, let's say TMT right now, like TMT ñoo xam ne ñu ngi spend like if you look at the whole season probably you ngi spend like 10 million or 5 million, you know. So $1 million it wouldn't add anything to your coffers, you know, to be honest. So you are much more trophy driven team. To winning the trophy is much more important, of course. But man, I just want to ask you because a lot of people ñu fi ñëw probably time bi dafa jeex without asking this question, and it's about this stadium boo xam ne it has been on all the time. I know this is about the government ñoo xam ne dañu war a put the infrastructure in place, waaye yéen tamit you have a role to play, because the players that are playing in your team, let's say for example, most of them, so you say you play, their ultimate goal is to play for the national team. Let's be honest about it. The name player TMT, and they would love it, but their ultimate goal is to play for the national team, to play for the national team in the home ground, being supported by their own fans. Your conversation probably with the players, because Hamnane, like you know your players, and obviously the stadium saga, obviously like everybody has talked about it. How would you say your players, the players of your club, are feeling, knowing that maybe even if I have the chance to play for my country, one day ma wara play as my country, ma wara feel the atmosphere, that is like the biggest of my life, understand nga? And then I have to play that game away from home, home away from home. How do the players feel about this whole thing? Maybe you have talked about that, on a personal level, or maybe, in a whole committee level or team level, I don't know, but it must affect the players in one way or the other. How do they really feel about this? And how you personally, how do you feel about the Gambian not being able to play their home games at home? It's very embarrassing, and it's very.
Thank you very much, Alassane. It's a very good question. Why? But I'm gonna yatal two to question. But now let me first come about the stadium issue. To be honest, society players, administrators, journalists, fans, and everybody, I think it's just disappointing. It's just disappointing. A team, a national team that went to back-to-back AFCON, they even reached the quarterfinals of the Africa Cup of Nations. Bro, and now we cannot do without our own stadium. Lolo mom, at capacity bumuna neka, at excuse bumuna neka. It's absolutely very disappointing. And mayokal la silenen. The stadium the Balaga de ko technique pour renovate ko ak yow time before league be don daw. I think it was 3 or 4 years ago if I'm not mistaken. My Hawks bu ñoo last jël league bi fi. I'm nga time bu Maji Gudi daf dan daw moy time bu ko Paradise dan live stream noonu on the TV. I wish nga dem fofu nga seetaan game. Football nga seet Gambian teams yi waxuma la leneen players yi they are absolutely super talented, and if they are giving the opportunity put okay. They can even do more when it comes to they can even do more when it comes to club level. Because right now they are relegated but Banjul United, Tamalan Fadon Setan, they play fancy football. Hawks Solen Setan on, I think Lulu Bokana Silugenata, the Hawks Munona drive through them because they are playing on the standard, at least not standard pitch in terms of quality grass acuity. But first with the pitch size, Alassane. Wow, exactly. But also pitch size. Pitch size, Alassane. Li ñu bari dañ ko dé neglect. But trust me, this is hindering soon under 17, soon players, even soon chanting, this is disturbing them. Because bro, dañ wante dega. Being like I have to be very direct and clear. Monolog them nga play, let's say, sorry for calling name too, but nga them Gold Project or nga them Brikama or nga them Banjul, looking at the size of their pitch, nga your finger play whole GFF Division League. You select la under 20 wala a chanty, New York, you know, nga wara them play Senegal, start Abdoulaye Wada, wala nga wara them Kenya, play some standard pitches you. Technically, it's going to derail you. Because your size bo mean fat ga tukki nga aga nga dem nga ñew so demé ci real world bi do ko fa fekka. So technically it's killing our players, and this is exactly what they don't understand. So gis nga yi yep problem la, and as much as we talking about stadium, yes dafa wara am, it's disappointing that it's not happening. But another thing li ma wax moy even some of the parks in they play fee, they should try by all means mu gay am a standard measurement bo xamantene suñ démé fenen lolu lañ fa fekk, that will help our players. And that is the reason why Sadafma Indiwad back to infrastructure, which I really wanted to say about that. There's many people will tell you, oh, TMT, luta amalan son on page, we believe maybe gonna financially stable or whatsoever. I tell them this, and the president always tells them this. You know what we want to do? Come we are seeing West Africa. We want to put our mindset and our infrastructure and everything that we want to do. Then we go whole, look West Africa there, you can across West Africa, at their own level, club level. You know no lenko buga defe. Mota yakamti wul. Mota, yes, in terms of infrastructure, we have a short-term plan, we have a long-term plan. Short-term plan be moy amnen yakarne. At least before the end of the league, inshallah, TMT will not play home game at their own home ground. But we have a mega project. I wish people know and then you understand exactly what is unfolding on the side of TMT. Benga xamantene pour elek suñ ko gisee fekk du len beta. Yes, I cannot disclose everything, I cannot say everything, but Alassane dag ma prom pour ma wax more on infrastructure. In as much as we're talking about the stadium, yes, we need it. Players, they want to play there, they want to play home, they want to feel at home. Yamanasa. League bi time bi don't play si wéru koor bi goudi non ak yoyu. My friend, stadium bi daf dan face del people will go out to watch because yes, it's comfortable to watch. You will see beautiful football. Yamanasa. So Purman Ishi Stadium, I think the government, yes, they need to do a lot. They need to strive very hard for at least Man, I was saying it, even though we lost our first two, three games, out of 3 games, we lost our 2 games, the qualification round before Jonathan don't know. But I'm telling you, man, with this performance, if you have played at home, most likely in qualified tournaments, we would have been be part of the best losers. So games yu bari yo xamantene dañ ko play away te mu disturb te amuñ ci results so ko sétlo that lack of home advantage daf ci bokka bu baaxa baax. And not only talking about the national team, manala even league bi fi ni ko ñun daf ñu doon dimbalé play su gaay mi non lolu rek mala ko wat playing at least at a standard pitch bes buñ génné du len sonal but mënulo play fi ci capet nga play fi ci grass bo xamantene xam nga ne correct nga joggé fofu nga dem Kenya wala nga dem Ghana wala nga dem Nigeria wara am pour play ci a professional pitch. Obviously, pitch size be 1, quality of the pitch 2, lolu yeb daf la dérel. So in as much as we're talking about the stadium, I think even Spring Park si tamit war nañ la hall. So they capet la sa ground because maybe lolu lañ mëna sustain. But at least let it be the right pitch size nga xamantene dina gëna mëna dimbalé suñu players.
So Mota Alpha dafa jafe very very difficult, to be honest. Like come Gambian national team be right now. Dina jafe come like a home based player, a home based player mu break into that team because come no ko don waxe rek yow lo mean yow yaangi mean pichi Brikama yaangi mean pichi Serekunda West Serekunda East Manjai. Sometimes I see the pictures online, so gay play set nawetan and all that. So gisee grassy boy nuñ kaye and like come I pah yo xamne to be honest with you degala man tay ma fa nekkon nekuton problem mangi play na si yoyu no problem why come xam nga so toge nga xalat nga gis yeneen yi when you have been through something else yow sa bopat sa fit more dem because man right now to be honest man ma ñëw Gambia wara gis pit yoyu nonu dama fa ragal play sa no duma ko risk I will not even play there possible because gis na pit you correct gis na pitch no more mel gis na feel no more mel so I cannot go back to that lolu la fa daw suma yaram nekku ne dama wax pour like degrade anybody or to degrade the pitches or whatever but to be honest they are not good enough let's just call it spade a spade they are not good enough lolu mun na jo injury to people life threatening injuries why to be honest tamit Gambia lolu lañ am it's not well kept. Everything is just like Newland can play, at the end of the day, after match, after match, that's it. By next match. Hana maybe it's like a line si farune new pentur. But when it comes to the care of the football pitch, amun bagasi, amun niti sa. Ño xamne dañ xam naka take care of a pitch. So it's very sad so Gambia local based players, to be honest, it will be very difficult for you to break into the pitches, into the national team. I mean, it will be very, very difficult if this continues. When you play your home matches, in arenas that are not good, it will affect you. You cannot play at Serekunda East or Manjai, and then all of a sudden you are at the stadium in Senegal. You will look. Sometimes you will faint. You wouldn't even know what's happening. So you have to train this. You have to do this a lot of times, and then it will become part of you. But at the end of the day, unfortunately, we are Gambians. We cannot deny that the system has really failed us.
Yeah.
Because football was one of the best things that I know. Stadium bi su Gambia di play da nga gis ne from tay guddi do detal nelaw sax, because yaa ngi xam ne 6 o'clock yaa ngi dem stadium, all your food, everything, you're going to get into that stadium by hook or by crook, but you will get a ticket and you will go in. The enjoyment and all of those things, they have taken it away from us. They have taken everything away from us. But just this season, Alpha, mujhe wuta am, because amuñ fi. The Gambian story continues, which is amut. Be nawetan or super nawetan bi mujhe. So lolu daf leen affect in any way system preparations or not.
Alpha.
Okay, so in terms of preparation, mun naa laa wan ne foofu daf ñu jox more advantage, but ba tey rek I believe am na advantage, am na disadvantage. Okay, am na advantage in a sense na dina la may more time. Yeah, am na advantage in a sense na, because daf ñu gën a jox more time pour ñu prepare. On the side of TMT, alhamdulillah, we started very early suñ pre-season, because ñun bu ñoo start pre-season maybe sa club si bëri startuñ toon. And then one thing tamit mooy ne xamoon naa ne su fekkente ne we started playing the league at that point of time, am na teams yu bëri yoo xamante ne nii maybe mën na noo gaañ seen play, because they will not have that enough training biñ soxla pour war a mën a dugga pour compete. So extension bi dafa amoon solo torop for the simple fact ne dinañu jox more time ñu prepare. But disadvantage bi fi moo nekkee mooy su fekkente ne GFF are still trying to meet again their standard, how to call it again, comme like fi ñu wax ne ligue bi foofu la war a em. For an example lay joxe rek, maybe ñu ngi programme woon ne maybe on the 28th May maybe ligue bi dina jeex. Léegi ni mu latee start nii, what we are fearing is ndax after bi ñu like dajaleel matches yi da nga xam ne di nga am pour play Saturday, play at Wednesday, play at Sunday, play at Saturday, xam nga comme mu teglante noonu ba nga xamante ne di nga am more issues when it comes to injury, because xam nañ exactly. So dëgg la daf daan mën a am sometimes, but xam nañ ne dina gën a bëri su fekkente ne they still want to meet deadline biñ teg ne GFF League bi foofu la war a jeex. Loolu nag àggaguñ si, maybe they don't communicate that, but dama just anticipate su waree am loolu mooy nekk a disadvantage bi. But nu mu latee start ni, of course it's an advantage to every other team, because dina la jox more time nga prepare, dina la gën a jox more time pour sa recruitment yoo def ak sa signing yoo def ñu mën a gel together with the team, because some of them bu pre-season starté sax di nga leen gis si team bi next week nga gis leen ñu move on. So comme loolu laa doon war rek, advantage bi moom bari na as a team, waaye disadvantage bi ñu ngi ko anticipate ne mun naa am. waaye su fekkee ñoom amee na noonu, then obviously loolu dina xam every other team, because ñun xam nañ ne maybe clubs si they are not equipped enough pour mun a war a mun a am a proper recovery session after every other game pour ñu mun a génnaat seen full body strength bi pour war a mun a am pour delluwaat pour play like full 90 minutes and then being at their best always. So loolu jafe-jafe la fii. So pour ñun league bi nu mu starté, it's a blessing it gives us more time to prepare, toppatoo waat suñu registration si, training bu proper am with our new signing yoo xamante ne am nañ leen, but at the end of the day we are hoping ne duñ ñu dajaleel game si like mu ñëw randomly just like that ba nga xamante ne mën naa affect the performance of the players.
No, risk bi loolu la moo ñëw nekka, because at the end of the day ñoom tamit foog ñu keep this FIFA window and all that, because with the international breaks and World Cup you understand nga. So obviously loolu moom foog mu am foog ñu ñëw pack games yi pour ngeen mun a teel a pare because World Cup mu ngi ñëw am and all of these things when it happens you cannot play your leagues. So it will be a disadvantage in that sense. Obviously dañoo jam pack all of the matches and then ba pare maybe dina nekk a disadvantage to you because dina jox more time to other teams pour you gonna prepare, and then it will be probably a stronger competition when it comes to the first division league. Why Alpha, just man finally from me, because time be them now. Man finally from me, I just wanted to say this, with all of the things that you have said, with all of the backroom staff, the technical staff, like the scouts, you have portrayed your team tonight here on the fan zone as the best, as the best team in the Gambia, and of course you have every right. You have every right to say that. You have every right to come here and say all the good things in the world, about your team. But with everything that you have said today, it just tells me that we have a team in the Gambia that is very well structured, a team that knows where their priorities lie, a team that really knows how to develop players, and a team that really knows, when to sell when the time is right, and an administration that is very much supportive to the players and even the families. So with this, man, I just want to say, continue the good work, to you and the technical staff and the administration. This is absolutely beautiful. This is what we want in our country. We want more, TMTs. We just don't want these dormant, teams that have been there for the longest time, but you don't see progress. So, when the GFF starts, I will definitely have my eye on where you are. But based on everything that you have said, the way that you sold your team, I really know that you're winning the league, isn't it?
Boy, Alpha dafa dem. Why
Wow, with everything, Alpha guy win league be there.
No, man luma buga wax luma buga wax indi not sell moy boy jinga pour raise level Gambian football, boy, it's not that very much difficult. As a human being, sometimes you have to do pressure. Understand? So whole BFF suñu defoon pressure ga dañ ne jinga at bu gaay don defé maji gudi. That was the best of GFF division league.
I can remember it was very nice.
Yeah, it was nice. People were I'm not know dañoo jël na fi la rek gaay dem play. On ay gaay dem sétani luma la bëgg wax moy. You see, I just did a rough calculation here. If I can team C ñu nekk di wax ne den def FSM because last week the guests that we had then they face some players. These people they are also saying that they pay all their players. Now, if you are paying each player $3,000, 22 players, that's $796,000 in a year, different from your operational.
Wow, season be wow.
Understand? So, GFF, one of the reasons you want some of these point. Guide them beyond special stadium. Walk on the stadium, walk up past one of these teams will get tickets. If team will get 10,000 get ticket. That helps. Aside from the monetary value, mana football. Dinga bola football bala nga muna play park di fess. Nga dis ndoy nek di tax play ñu la yuvel.
Dinga day gëna am ritual powers.
Exactly. Ko le nga nek di warm up sa ñu nek nga dega ñu na la na bes ngey ñew su digé téré ngeen dé. Understand? Loolu dafa am motivate. Understand?
Accent way you know the way you know.
Wow. Right. So all let's see live in the Gambia. So let's live in the Gambia. Seafood football in Gambia.
Yeah.
International football. We had our worst period during the COVID. Understand? Even players then they were no. So Gambia you see in terms of football, you need COVID belegi. Because I them said and for division league man 5 nil na fagis. Apart from team administration, then you put and football. Understand? So pursuing football, Gambia football be by word of mouth, then you got the level with but effort ngeen nekk di def pour aga ci level bobu.
Yeah. Football dal bala nga reap the reward. Before you reap the reward, obviously you need to sow a seed. The Gambia, to be honest, you don't want to sow a seed and you want to reap. Lulu. You know, it cannot happen. It doesn't really happen anywhere. So man, at the end of the day, gis nga come no ko waxe football with fans is everything. I wouldn't want to play in an empty stadium. Lulu mom, to be honest, Lulu yan na masiyara musal. You know. Play in the stadium.
Ya de makanyore. Legi ansal alasan.
Alpha, they want my question.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, maa ngi dem ak waaw mu ne.
No, man, na déggoon nga sama question bi balaa nga doon dem.
Déedéet ma ne dégguma ko woon.
Wow, okay. Dama doon wax nii rek, you know. Yeah, I just wanted to commend you. For the good work that you're doing and your team, you know, and the staff and everybody that is connected to TMT Football Club. You know, these are the kind of owners that we need in the country, owners that will take responsibility, owners that will, you know, invest, and owners that will develop players to their full potential. But gis naa ne tamit, you know, you are very much committed to everything that you are doing. Ted Lulu is not negotiable, because if you want a first division team, you should be able to be committed to it. You know, man time bo no man kon Gambia, you know, I li amuton young people that invest and they really love what they do. You know, it's coming up now, and I am very excited that the Gambia have a future in these kind of things. You know, the owners will come and invest their monies and all that. But with everything that you have said, Alpha, with the backroom staff that you have, you know, come up with the coaches, you know, the technical directors, you know, with the scouts, you know, with the media house, you know, you have the communications, you have everything like a professional football club, you know. So I just really hope everything, you know. So I really hope with everything you're gonna win the league this season, because I'll be having my eyes on this team, you know, because, you know, with everything that you have said, I really think you are the giant of Gambian football from now on, isn't it? So you're winning the league this season.
Okay. Yeah, inshallah. Yeah, inshallah, Alasa.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, Lolo mom Alasan, if you're
Yeah, because Lofi was Alpha, you know, the fact.
Well, yeah, I mean,
you know,
and that's what we really hope to be, inshallah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what we really hope to be. How man yanang madega nagboba, because man, I'm finding it a bit difficult to hear you. Yanang madega.
Wow, yung ladiga.
Yeah. But for now, Alpha, dapat demand their base. But you probably try a round of, you know. But man, I'll be having my eyes on this team, you know. TMT, you know, it's probably my new team, my new Gambian team, you know, because Alpha has sold me their you know agenda. So to be honest, it's really nice, because man, we come here and talk about Gambian football, and probably a lot of people think, wow, Lego Legi, I can be negative because Gambia Amun Stadium, I talk a lot about that and all that. But no, it's not about negativity, I just want the best for the Gambia because man, mosna nakala stadium nehe, mosna naka come nga place stadium fancy, you them the support. Man, I know that ambience. I have done it as a supporter. I have done it as a media personnel. So I know how much I have looked forward to these games. So man, duma ko muna hang sumadom, duma ko muna hang, the people in Gambia that haven't tasted this, So that is the only reason why we talk about the stadium, because that is the only stadium that we have. Unfortunately, we have only one good stadium. It's very sad, So that's the reason why we talk about it. But we just want the best. That's just it.
So Alpha, like answer we are running up.
Yeah, Alpha. Munga just wrap up, right? If you have anything to say that you haven't said before, just in summary, you can just say it, Alpha, before we let you go.
As for na side them na boy.
Boy, side for na alkin lang eh. See, keep. No la.
Okay, viewers, thank you for joining us this weekend. Program film hope to see you guys this weekend with another interesting guest from one of the top teams in football. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Ja, Amerika Korea zijn. Ñu paré de.
America Korea